pop culture events of the summer is FX's Alien Earth, and it doesn't premiere until next month, but Comic-Con attendees got a special treat when the entire first episode was screened during the panel in Hall H. Joining me now, Brian Altano, Scott Kalura, and Amelia Emberwain to talk about it. I don't know about you guys, but I was kind of hoping this would be like a nice, lighthearted romp.
What?
It's dark. I mean, no, yeah, it's an alien movie set on Earth. It's gonna be, it's kind of bleak.
I'm glad you're sitting down because Alien Earth is incredibly bleak. It goes into some darker places I was not really expecting. I think I expected like a little bit of Fargo with creatures that pop out and kill people, because you know I feel like Fargo's done a really good job of building tension and anxiety over the course of each season. But this one thematically goes in some directions I really wasn't expecting, specifically with children. And I guess, should we say it?
Sure. So yeah, we're going to steer clear of spoilers, but
Okay.
this is public info. The central character, Sidney Chandler's character, is a hybrid. You know, we've had plenty of synthetics. You've had cyborgs in this, you know, in this universe before, but this is the consciousness of a child put in a synthetic body.
Yes, in an adult synthetic body.
Yeah.
Which is a little weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they explain it. They give an in-universe explanation for it, but it doesn't diminish the weirdness of
Yeah.
it, right? Yeah.
They, like, you can tell that, like, we know how inky this is.
Yeah.
Like, we know this is yucky.
Yeah.
We're aware. It's fine.
I think what's cool about that specifically is that this is a universe that has played around with fear in a lot of ways, and not all of it has been xenomorphs, right? Like a lot of it is humans turning it against each other, and corporations like as a sort at the precipice of designing war weapons, and then you know finding that weird gradient between humans and robots, and that gives them a lot of sort of new toys to play with.
Yeah, so I feel like personally, like Prometheus and an Alien Covenant, it veered too hard into like android territory. I was kind of like, Ridley Scott, you could just make more Blade Runner movies if you want to focus on that. But the way this is kind of presenting these characters feels more closely tied to Weyland Yutani doing icky stuff than just being like, do androids dream of playing the recorder with themselves or whatever? But yeah, no, it's going heavily in the you know corporation direction. It's got plenty of creatures. It's unsurprisingly got a xenomorph, but the first episode I'm kind of surprised is very it pulls its punches a little. It doesn't pull its punches. It's using its creatures sparingly. Like I was kind of afraid that we'd seen too much in the trailers. I feel like I know nothing about this show going in aside from I mean
anyone looking for xenomorph action won't be disappointed by episode 1, I don't think. But like, I mean, the xenomorphs can be a little one note in a way, right? Like that's one of the things about this franchise. Like when this is a TV show, right? So you're building out multiple episodes. Like ultimately, the xenomorphs are scary monsters who pop out in the dark and kill you, right? So they have to always attach these other things, you know, androids and what is she called? The
hybrid.
Hybrid,
Yeah.
you know, so which is a new idea to the franchise. And like sometimes you go too far with it. Ridley Scott and David, right? Like that, he became just super interested in the androids. Yes, and the flute.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's, you know, Noah Hawley has said that, like, we all know how the xenomorph operates, and you can't recapture that feeling of experience this thing this first time, so he's trying some new stuff, and he's introducing some new creatures, and, like, it's in the title, Alien. It should be unfamiliar and unsettling. Like, that is the whole core concept there, and so, yeah, there's a xenomorph, but there's other stuff, too, which is exciting, and,
Yeah. I think that's what's really interesting about this one is it's showing us the Earth that we've never really seen outside of little glimpses in this franchise before. But also, like, this is a series that started, like, in the 70s. And so a lot of the looks of the people are 70s based, but it takes place like 100-something years from now. So you get this weird sort of paleo-futurism thing going on. I really dig it. The set design, the sort of UI on the computers, like we saw a couple of shots of like ship interiors and stuff like that, and all of that just totally honed in on the aesthetic from the original Alien movie so perfectly that I was like, it feels like they found those old sets, they found that old ship, and they're just walking around in it.
Yeah, but so kind of tying back to what you said earlier about the fear, they are dealing with fear in a way that we haven't really seen before, because episode 1 is very like mortality focused, but with kids, and that is jarring but also interesting, like in a whole, like in that aspect of alienness. Like we've never explored this kind of thing of like this terror within children. It's always
Yeah.
adults, and they explain why it's not adults here early on.
Like we've seen it with Newt, who's basically just like playing hide and seek with xenomorphs for 2 hours, and then survives and doesn't, thanks to the wonderful, not at all controversial intro to Alien 3, which, you know, I grew up loving and still love to this day. Whatever, that franchise goes hard. Yeah. But yeah, this time around, they're playing with the life and death of people in that age demographic before a xenomorph even arrives, and that's where it was like, oh, this is icky and scary, and that's the kind of feelings you want when you're watching something based on Alien.
Yeah.
I think also the kids might be giving them an in to do a little bit of humor too, which is not something that Alien has ever done that well, right?
Kinda, yeah, you need that to sustain an 8-episode series
Yeah.
compared to a 2-hour movie. Speaking of which, like this, again, this is an Alien series. Like there's a lot of it that's weird and unfamiliar, but it does a very good job of having themes and like things that are just straight callbacks to the original, as they should be, because it's basically set around the same time. The opening of the show is like not beat for beat, but it lines up real close to the original movie.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, I mean, it's like several of the opening shots are like, I mean, even when they're sitting down after they come out of cryo sleep and they're having breakfast or whatever, it's like it's even framed in the same way that it is in the first Alien. And as you said, Brian, like the set designs are it's the Nostromo, but with a different name basically, you know. And so it's like they're intentionally acknowledging, like, yeah, we know you guys know the Alien movies, and we're gonna just right now from the start, like, yes, we know the Alien movies too, and so we're proving that, and then from there they move on and go in some totally different directions.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about Noah Hawley too. Like, but you mentioned he did Fargo. He also did Legion, which was an X-Men show without the X-Men. You know, so he's one of these guys who's able to jump into like a known franchise and then go off and do totally his own thing with it. And that's what I think is the potential for this show, to not be super reliant on the continuity and everything that we all know.
I think my favorite thing about it is how well it is stitching together themes from Alien stuff that we've seen before, but doing it in a creative way. Like it's, I don't know, I felt like Alien Romulus was a lot of fun fan service. I was kind of into that, you know, but at the same time it was like, yeah, we've kind of seen a lot of this stuff before. It's kind of a greatest hits. And then conversely, you get stuff like Alien Covenant and Prometheus, which felt like almost too much of a deviation. And you know, again, with prequels, it's always weird because you're making something that's supposed to look, it looks older than a thing that looked futuristic 40 years ago. Like, what are we doing here? But in this case, like, they did a really good job of melding, like, the look of the interior of the spaceship, and then we see Earth, and it looks maybe a little more familiar than we were expecting. But then there's like, oh, hey, that kind of looks like a pulse rifle, and it looks like, you know, bits and pieces of Alien sprinkled in with stuff from Alien, but melded together in a way that, yeah, I don't know, it's really working for me in the same way that Fargo does. Which,
I'm really excited to see what they do with the actual Earth parts of this, and I didn't think that would be my takeaway.
Yeah.
I did think it was funny that they start with this unthinkable, unfathomable premise of 5 corporations running everything. I was like, oh boy, I hope that never happens to us.
That's science fiction.
But yeah, the idea of sort of corporations competing with each other with, like, you know, very, very rich people at their core who are either naive or sadistic and evil or a mixture of all of those things combined. And they're sort of having a space race for androids and robots. That is some scary stuff. And this is a great team to explore that. It's a great cast to explore that, and Noah Hawley's onto something here.
Yeah. It's a good thing we don't live in a world where we're on the cusp of AI or something.
Yeah, nothing like that. Nothing to worry about. I think we're good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, but the good news is, like, we just got Andor, which explored 10 minutes before a beloved movie from the 70s that defined science fiction, but did it in interesting ways. And I feel like Alien Earth very much has the potential to do the same thing. Alien Earth premieres on August 12th. And in case you missed it earlier today, be sure to check out our interviews with the cast and creators. But right now, there's more Comic-Con still to come right here on IGN.
Did you like it?